Morning, everyone. Welcome to the March 11th, 2025 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We are glad you're with us. And for those watching online, we are glad you are with us as well. We'll begin as we always do with an invocation, and Reverend Lauren McDuffie from Community Baptist Church is with us. We're glad to see her, and she's going to lead us in prayer. Please stand.
Let us pray. God of many names, we thank you for a beautiful day and for the blessings that we each have experienced as we have come to this place this morning. We thank you for the unique gifts of this community we call home, for all those we are blessed to call neighbors, for all of the opportunities and gifts afforded to us. We pray for those in our community who are struggling in all manner of circumstances, that as we count the blessings of our own lives, we will also work every day to create more opportunity for more people. I thank you this day for the hearts and minds gathered here, for their willingness to serve our community, to help it be fulfilled and vibrant, for it to be a safe and welcoming place for all people. As important conversations take place and decisions are made this morning, bring wisdom and light to the work that is done here. Help us in all that we do to strengthen our community and care for our neighbors. By your love, may we serve and grant grace to one another. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Magistrate Starks.
Here.
Magistrate Berry's absent. Magistrate Southard.
Here.
Magistrate Tompkins.
Yes, ma'am.
And Magistrate Putman is also absent.
We do have a quorum, and in your packet, gentlemen, are the minutes of the February 25th, 2025 Fiscal Court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other corrections, clarifications, or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Make sure you put my votes down because we
Okay.
you have a quorum by a sliver. Okay. Judges Scholar time again, and we're so honored and lucky to have Hattie Bewley from Spotsville Elementary School with us. And normally I'd join Hattie up at the podium, but I've had a bit of body work in the last week, so she's going to help me out by coming up here with her parents, right up here in front of us. Just come right on up. Right here. And we're going to read a proclamation in your honor.
All right.
And then take a few more pictures, and it's going to be a special day. So I'll turn it over to the court clerk.
Whereas Hattie Bewley has been chosen by Spotsville Elementary School to be the recipient of the Judges Scholar Award for exceptional efforts in both academics and school activities, and whereas Hattie's hard work and dedication in making the most of educational experiences and developing positive relationships with teachers and other students will lead to future success, and whereas success is measured in many different ways, whether it be by passing a test, scoring the winning point, achieving a particular goal, or taking the necessary steps for overall improvement. And whereas the Henderson County school system could not let Hattie's efforts go unnoticed, and whereas Henderson County Fiscal Court supports the school system and acknowledges these accomplishments as being significant because students such as Hattie will be our future leaders. And now, therefore, I, Brad Schneider, County Judge Executive of Henderson, join with the Henderson County Fiscal Court to proclaim March 11th, 2025 as Hattie Bewley Day.
Very cool. You want to get everybody on the family? Come on up. Big family group photo. Come on, come on. Don't be shy.
Grandma was so proud she was crying.
Takes a village.
Yeah. Yeah, all the grandmas are crying. That's a proud moment.
That's right, that's right.
That's right.
Hey, we're gonna do this. This is her day. That's right.
That's right.
Thank you. Patty, hey, let her take that. You come
Did you get one of them?
right here. This is your seat.
They gave me two.
That's Kyle Evans, Assistant County Attorney. As we go
You got
through-
butches, I guess.
Very possible.
Free to ask
Very
questions. You
possible.
gotta fight the urge to vote. Really not. But we could use your.
I was going to say.
Well, congratulations, Hattie. I know your family's very proud, school's very proud, and this is a big deal. Spotsville's a great school, so for the team there to honor you like this, as their judges scholars, quite impressive, so congratulations. And now you get the very exciting task of watching us make the sausages, they say, and, but we're really glad to have you, and congratulations. Okay, next on the agenda is a presentation from our friends at Habitat for Humanity, and the Chief Operations Officer, Matt Reynolds, is with us. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
And Matt's going to be making a presentation about a project or proposal that we've been talking about for a while, and I asked him to kind of come and make it a little bit more formal in front of the rest of the group.
Thanks,
The
sir.
members of the City County Cooperative Group, Magistrate Starks, Magistrate Putman, have been briefed a bit on this, but we thought it was valuable for Matt to come and spell it out more in detail for all of us, so take it away.
Absolutely, and obviously, I know that we won't get anything decided today, but I do hope that maybe y'all can help with some of the small issues that we've run into on some of it. But let me get started. I first want to say thank you to both Mayor of Court and Mayor of Roberts, and of course the Deputy Mayor. Very informative. I do recommend, if you have a spare day, go out and visit the mayors. It was very pleasant to go visit those towns and start doing a little bit of research. Habitat for Humanity is familiar with building in both of those areas, but it has been over 2 decades since we've been in either Corden or Roberts. And we do have some, Brittany and I have read some of the journals of the experiences, and unfortunately, Roberts, pretty tough because of a septic tank issue, and of course Habitat in its infancy back in the 90s was not, did not have a lot of capital, did not have a lot of experience, and when they ran into issues, I think it does seem that they tend to ran and hid instead of addressing the issues that they need to address. Not only because they didn't know what to do, but I don't think they had any money to do anything at the time. So there were a few nightmares that we've uncovered, but I do believe that today that we could get something going. And as you'll see on the proposal, kind of just started with Corden. Some of the issues that we ran into in Corden, some of the lots look great. And they have a lot of potential. I think we have, Brittany, do we have 3 or 4 houses? I want to say it's 3 or 4.
Matt, would you mind if I interrupted a bit?
No.
Just to give a background here.
Please.
Probably going on almost a year ago, I think, Habitat came to City County Cooperative Group and the mayor and myself with an idea about putting $1 million into a pool over time to buy blighted properties, clean them up, hold on to them, and eventually build Habitat homes on them. And the focus at that time was the East End, because they had several blighted properties. And we understood the concept. The initial question from the magistrates was, okay, but we have potentially blighted properties in Corden, for example, maybe Roberts, and could some of this money, if we agreed to participate, be used out in the county in those communities and not necessarily in the East End. So I took that question to Brittany and Matt, and they have, as Matt said, gone and visited with the mayors and kind of identified a few properties that may fit that, the same kind of potential description as the ones in the East End. And Matt and I have corresponded back and forth about, yeah, this is a possibility, and we understand why the fiscal court would be interested in having the money spent out in the county necessarily. Not that we were against anything going on in the East End, but again, it'd be nice to, they're blighted properties in more than one place in the community. So that's the gist. So
Sure.
Now Matt's back, having visited with the mayors, and so if you don't mind, I wanted
Yes.
to bring everybody up to speed.
No, sure,
So-
sure. And,
so-
and I don't see Steve Gold here today, but he was very instrumental in letting me know, again, some of the, I think I guess I want to call it a myth, because I believed it for a long time until Steve set me down and pointed me in the right direction. Did not realize that the county tax bill, y'all shared so little in the actual total county tax bill.
Yeah.
When I saw that it was
Right.
11.57%, I was kind of like, whoa, that's an interesting business model. But anyway, Steve made it clear to me why, and once he said it, I was like, wow, I never really considered it that way, So he did tell me I might want to get Bob Lawson for a meeting to see how much I could skin the school system for, but Bob wasn't too, I think he acted like he had a phone call and he took off, but.
Now let's explain that. One of the motivations for any government to, take hold of a property and bring it back online is it gets back on the tax rolls
Yes.
at a higher rate because you build something nice on them. So there's a potential return or a chance to recoup some of the investment. It's just that the nature, as we all know, of the amount of money that actually comes to fiscal court from the tax bill would mean the investment would take approximately 173 years to
Yes,
be realized.
that's about
So-
right in some cases.
So it wouldn't necessarily be an investment that we see a lot of return on. We'd be doing it to help the community. But the reference to the school system is, as you all know, in that big pie chart that shows where all your money goes, they take 60%. So their chances of getting their money back sooner are much greater. Wouldn't they be interested in kicking into this pile of money to help do some of this? And you heard the giggles. Maybe they were.
It was
Not
so,
off their
I think
radar.
it was sort of a joke. I don't know. I think it was a joke if Bob ran off, but if he entertained it, I think it might have not been a joke. But anyway,
Not
it was a
a
joke.
not a normal ask of a
There
school corporation.
you go. That's correct. That's correct.
All right, continue, please.
So in Corden, we were presented with a plethora of lots, all with very good potential. I think after seeing what the mayor of Corden has had to deal with on some of the things out in Corden, unfortunately, a lot of the properties don't have legal descriptions, nor have they been surveyed ever. Talking with Andrew Powell, a lot of that had to do with post-Civil War settlement and some of the distrust in the court systems and blah, blah, blah. Well, long story short, it would be difficult to pass on a property without legal description to a homeowner,
Yeah.
with the issues that could surround that. Talking with Branson surveys and Bailey surveys, they would basically do just what you would think any surveyor would do. They would try to trace back the parent tracks as far back as 100+ years and then move forward and see if there was a way. Again, there's a lot of money that would be involved in that. And at this time, unsure if we could come to any sort of clear title situation. But again, that's some research I'm hoping maybe some of y'all could help with on that part. Of course, tree work and grade work, a lot of trees on a lot of the lots. We got good tree people that have been great to us as far as pricing and stuff goes, and I think that we'd be able to work out great deals there. But to get these lots to their most maximum potential, there'd be quite a bit of earthwork and tree work that would need to be performed on many of them. There's a few that it would be very, very minimal, which is a good thing. And that's sort of Corden in a nutshell, because we don't have any septic service issues there. They're on their own water and whatnot. So that would be a the infrastructure is in place, which is good for Corden to be able to to do anything. But again, I've got all some things and some notes that y'all can read. Roberts, meeting with the mayor and deputy mayor of Roberts, that was also a great experience. They identified a few lots while we were there that day to see if there was anything that could be done. I have done research on all the lots that they did show us that day. One of them was purchased by an individual not long ago, so I'm not sure about that one. Another one is owned by Roger Brown. It's at the corner, the dollar store. If y'all know, going down 41, there's a dollar store, and then right across, there's like a triangle, pretty big lot. There's a house there. Roger Brown owns that. He's not interested in getting rid of that at this time, but there are other properties, as the mayor mentioned, that we could look at. We just kind of need to see what we're up against there. The septic service seems to be the toughest part. I talked with Mr. Tassa. He was very prompt in answering me on what we needed to do. The health department was not extremely forthcoming in letting me know whether they would issue permits for new septic service until we were to give them an entire site plan. They said that obviously a lot of the lots are sort of, I guess, grandfathered against the new size restrictions. So some of the lots, if we didn't build on the exact footprint that we tore down the house, they said it would probably have to have a new septic issuance, which may not make it possible due to the fact that some of the lots have to be, I think she said, some of them have to be an acre, and some of these lots aren't even a half an acre. So they said they couldn't guarantee septic service issuance. I said, well, I'm not sure. There's got to be a way around this. And she was like, well, I'm not sure. I'd have to ask my boss. I said, okay. So anyway, so that's kind of where we're at there with those places. But after doing a little more research, kind of what I found out is I think a lot of the things can be overcome. Again, it's just probably getting the right people in the right room to discuss, the whole thing. But I did put here at the end, as you mentioned, Judge, sort of what it would look like for the return. Right now, I'm not 100% sure what the appraisals would be out in the county. I do know that where we're building in the inner city, our appraiser said those are probably going to be some of the lowest appraisals in the entire county that are going to be seen. And we're being comped against ourselves now for the most part, since we've built so many over the past half decade. But our appraiser seems to believe that the appraisals would be at least similar, if not possibly higher, depending on, the exact location, of course, location. But I do believe that these numbers would be very, very close to what the appraisals would be. And of course, that's what taxes are paid on, those appraised values. And then of course, I got what our cost to build those are there in yellow, and then the appraisals over there in parentheses to the side of construction cost. So that would kind of hopefully give you an idea of what the potential return on investment would be. Now, as far as the same deal that we have, and it's not in stone yet because the memorandum of understanding is not complete with the city, I view this as probably a separate thing altogether than what we have with the city. The city, of course, has potentially indicated that they would put $500,000 in, and Habitat would match it $500,000 or vice versa. At first, we wanted to bring the county in, but after talking with the judge and Mr. Gold, it does seem that maybe there's an alternative option that maybe we could look at with whatever funding the county would like to possibly put into this deal that we would exclusively use in these areas and not bring into the inner city. We would let the city deal stand alone and then have a separate deal with the fiscal court. Now again, we're open to this is just one proposal. I just want to make that clear. This is not take it or leave it type situation. This was just something I came up with simply because it makes sense to me why y'all would want those, the majority of those dollars spent outside the city limits. So I said, well, forget the majority, let's consider all of it in that case. And, Habitat, some of the issues that we would run up against, I think are, we got about 6 issues. So again, clear title acquisition of said properties, and then of course the cash flow situation relating to the pre-construction development costs. I said tree work, earthwork, things of that nature. The difficulty or ease of working with county codes for new construction. Randy said that would be, he doesn't see a problem as long as, we're not suggesting something that's not within the bounds of codes and whatnot. And we would not, obviously. And then, of course, the health department issue on the septic tanks in Roberts. And then again, the number 5 and 6, that one is sort of one I've talked with our group about. you know, volunteers traveling, you know, what's the ease of that? I've talked to the companies. The company said, look, we'll travel anywhere. It's your money. So I said, okay, well, that makes that easy at least. So at least I understand. So it does seem that there's a few little logistical issues that we would have to, you know, look at. And then obviously one that's not on here, but this is not a deal breaker. I mean, right now with the political situation going on, we were hoping that we would have access to USDA funding, but as of this time, it's frozen. But again, we do believe that that would become unfrozen, and we do know that Roberts and Corden have tons and tons of USDA eligible properties, which would help the cash flow situation if we're able to tap into those funds. So,
If I could ask Mayor Smith and Mayor Sellers to pop up to the mic, you don't mind? Come on up. So one of our motivations, and Master Stark, correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea of helping with blight and also trying to put a little dent in our affordable housing challenge was part of our motivation for exploring this kind of wrinkle on the original proposal from Habitat. So in reviewing some of the properties that you do with Matt, I mean, is this something that the cities are very interested in? Do you think it'll be a net positive? Is there some partnership we can do to help make it happen if the fiscal court agrees? Give me your perspectives.
Yeah, I think, I'm very interested. It's very doable. Like Matt said, we've got, what,
oh gosh,
maybe,
it was upwards of 11, but I think there was about 7 or 8 that were really.
yeah. But, I mean, we've got potential. Of course, any kind of new build is going to benefit the city. You know, that's just the fact. It's going to benefit the city. It's going to clean the lot up. It's going to be, tax revenue, sewer revenue. So, yeah, we're very interested. The 11 or 12 lots I do have that I have been foreclosing on, and these are all for back property taxes, abandoned lots. Got 11 or 12, like he said, there's no clear legal description, so if there's no legal description, I can't foreclose on them. So if, we could, get some assistance with that, that would be great. So I'm all about, new builds and cleaning up the city.
Any thoughts?
Yes, same way with us. I mean, we would welcome any help we could give and any help you folks could give, and through Habitat to construct some new housing for, the cleaning up the town is number one, and to help alleviate the housing, not having enough housing. I found that we have, and I don't know how the mayor is in her city, but we have a lot of housing that are sometimes worse than the blighted property that people are living in. And we talked about that, and actually there's not much we can do except maybe through some codes and things like that. But yeah, we would welcome anything to make our community better. Sure.
Another question is it possible, is there a vehicle for a Habitat home built in Corden, for example, to be prioritized for applicants who are from Corden?
Brittany and I discussed that with the mayor of Roberts and the deputy that day. We do believe that there is a way that we could, I don't want to use the term exclusivity, but I do believe there's a way, yes, to answer your question. We do believe that obviously we would advertise. We would first go to Roberts and Corden and have a day or 2 days or 3, whatever have you, where people could come ask questions, residents of Corden or people interested. We would announce it via social media and other modalities, of course, and have days where people come in and ask questions. What would this be like? What would my income criteria need to be? So on and so forth. We provide all that education. And then those folks that apply that say, we might have a question such as, would you be interested in living in the city of Roberts and or Corden over the inner city or wherever else we may be building? And those people that may answer yes to that question, we can obviously have a separate pool, sort of. So hopefully that answers.
Well, it's win-win. Not only do you get a better-looking property with affordable housing, but it helps a resident, a local resident in that scenario. One of my takeaways right here is because of the nature of all the properties that they looked at and the difference between some of these properties and the ones in the East End, the cost per finished Habitat house would end up being more for us than typically what you pay, just because of trees and potential new septic fields and
Pre-construction development would be excessive.
more expensive. However, I can't recall the last time Habitat was able to build outside the city limits.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, and we've had that discussion in the past about would you ever consider that, and I know there were just a lot of caveats around it. And now it may be the time to try because, as you know, for example, Master Southard is a resident of Corydon or very familiar with Corydon and knows that that's one of our kind of entrance corridors into our county. And there are properties on there that are not as attractive as they could be. And besides just aesthetics, there's a home waiting for a family that needs it that's not there, right? So there's some good reasons to look into this. And we're not going to make a decision today.
Sure.
But I do appreciate the perspective of the mayors. And we're coming up on budgeting season for the new fiscal year. And one conversation we may have, if you want to continue this, is to, either think about, making a full commitment to this project for 5 years and seeing how it goes, or if you're up for this, making a commitment to an initial property next year, see how that works, see how it transpires. The easier button, but would be in Corydon because they have sewer. You don't have to worry about that. And just take a look back at the end of the year and see what we thought of the whole project. That's just a suggestion.
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
I know that's not the commitment you want, but it may be what we're willing to do when we come to that point.
I really didn't have an expectation from this, in all honesty. If you would have told me that y'all had zero interest at all, we have enough projects to keep us busy for the next 20 years. So, but it is interesting to us, and I would love to go out after meeting with both of them. We would love to see it happen. So we have no expectations.
So to follow up on that idea, if we did decide, and again, this is all hypothetical, I don't want to commit us to anything. Okay, Matt, we're gonna try one. We're gonna pay for our portion of one. Would Habitat be in a position to move on that next fiscal year?
If we have the family ready, I would say the answer to that would be yes. Now it would be incumbent on us to figure out how we can figure out how to get that family prepared, which would be going to the pool of that we currently have, which are already committed to homes. And then the next one that we're going to open would not be until the next application round. We're not going to open will not be until 2026 due to the projects that we already have in the pipeline. We have 18 that we're currently working on in various stages. But to answer your question, what is your fiscal year?
July to June.
That's ours as well.
Yeah.
So I believe that there is a very strong possibility, but again, it would come down to that question of, I don't know if we're to the point where we would want to force somebody. We would hope this would be a willing, this family, I want to live in Roberts, or I want to live in Corydon. Great, will this work? Or, we don't want it to be, I want to live on Ledger Street. Well, sorry, we don't have anything, it's out in Roberts. What? I work at so-and-so, I can't live in Roberts, so we don't want to force it to happen. We'd
Yeah.
like for it to happen. So, but yes, it could happen.
If the stars aligned, yeah.
That's right.
One other residual positive effect that I think it would have is that maybe some of those other blighted properties would clean up more when they saw a house come in our cities or the whole county.
The
You
ones
know,
that are
it-
owned by people who aren't interested at the moment. in
Right,
giving
but they may see, hey, this is nice.
We
you know,
have
maybe I
noticed
need
that
to-
that does happen on at least about a 33% occasion in the inner city. We'll build a house, and then the two on each side will put new siding or a new roof. We've seen that at least 1/3 of the time for the last 5 years.
That's good to know.
I'm going to hush now and see if any of the other magistrates have questions.
I think the first thing's gonna have to be, you're either gonna have to get it clear title, where you can survey it, because I think that's as big a problem as not having to deal with the septic. Just because I've got experience with septic, that seems to be an easier problem to deal with than, so you
You're
get
right.
some more structure around that and just tell them, say, look, either you will or you won't. You have to come out here and do it, make them do their job. You know what I mean? Get more of an answer, because if we're going to contribute this amount of money, I'm going to have some more structure.
Sure, no, it makes perfect sense. I'm like you, we couldn't pass on the unclear
Right.
anyway. We wouldn't want to do that as an organization,
you
so
just
you're
can't-
right. We would have to address that upfront
Yeah.
before any other things.
I don't think you'd ever get a loan if you didn't have a clear title.
Oh, no, not past, I mean, obviously, we're a subprime lender. We're going to give the initial first loan. But yes, you're right, USDA wouldn't be involved for sure.
right.
And if they wanted to get a HELOC or something after the fact, yeah, it all has to be done, or else. That's a.
Which it can be done in Carton, because I own a lot in, I own 3 lots in Carton that they consolidate into one, and it was a nightmare, but it can happen. It's just, it's how hard you dig in.
Sure. I figured it could happen. I just figured that, unfortunately, like I said, I told Brittany, there's no problem to this day that I haven't seen that money can't fix. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes a little more than we wanted to fix it. So, but anyway, yes, I will definitely address that. Sure.
Matt, I just had a quick question. When we had our city-county gathering, we were focused on the inner-city area, and at that time, there was an idea that possibly some of the money could have gone not only to building houses, but maybe to a commercial.
Sure.
We're just dealing with houses with this proposal, is that right?
My understanding is it's affordable housing. We had not really discussed the idea of potential businesses. I don't know, is that something that y'all are opposed to?
I don't think there was any appetite for
Okay.
going
Yeah,
down
I-
that road.
I think
Yeah.
we'd be more interested in
Yeah.
finding homes for
Sure,
folks
no,
to deal.
I think
yeah.
we would too.
Yeah, okay. Just
Commercial,
wanted to clarify.
commercial developers don't need our help. in
Yes,
this.
I agree.
Right.
Very good.
And what you suggested about the Carton area with the septic, which is, thank God we got it,
Yeah.
but it's, we need to strongly look at both. If we're gonna do one, we need to do two, I think.
I agree.
I think maybe we leave it at this. We've heard the mayor say they support it. Maybe there, in some future conversation, we could work out kind of a mutual support for the project, whatever you think you might be able to do or afford. There might be in-kind services you can provide to help facilitate something. And decide if we want to put some money in the budget to potentially do this. We've done this in the past where we think we might do something, we go ahead and put it in the budget in case we do, and whatever happens during the course of the year happens, but if we decide to pull the trigger, the money's there.
Right.
Just thought about that. So I would say that unless anybody else has a different idea, we won't make a decision on this until we get to budgeting.
Sure.
We'll have talks again, I think. I think we all see the benefit. It's just a matter of
Absolutely.
bang for the buck, and, is it
Yep.
something that's actually going to help people, and can we effectively execute? And I know that our local Habitat for Humanity team has done great work. So much done in the East End.
We are comfortable where we're at now, for sure. This would be a step out of the comfort zone, but I do believe that there is great potential. Magistrate Tompkins brings up the best point. I do believe that survey issue, legal description issue, must be tackled before we even move an inch further in court. But I do believe it can happen, as Magistrate Southern said, it can happen. It just might be a couple of briefcases instead of just one. But that's okay. We'll figure it out one way or another, so.
So what I'm hearing is a general support of the concept and acknowledgement
Agreed.
of the benefit. We've just got to decide how much money to throw at it, and if we do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely worthwhile. It's just trying to start off on the right foot.
Absolutely.
And this is, with budgeting time coming up on us, this is probably a good time to really think it through and just provide for the potential in the new budget. So, thanks. Any other questions?
I just like to say, thank y'all. I know y'all, I see her passion every day when I drive through. I've seen yours in the last year, and it's nice to know that our cities, our small cities, have the the leadership and you can tell y'all love y'all city.
Well, there's no question that they care. It was unbelievable. Like I said, I asked Mayor Sellers what his salary was, and he was very gracious to let me know. I saw him take no less than 7 phone calls during our meal at the North-South Truck Stop, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But no, you're right. They're truly passionate. And
Yes.
it would be an honor to embark on this project with everybody. So.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, guys.
So, thank you
See
very
you,
much.
thanks.
We'll be in touch on that. Next on the agenda is an appointment to the Human Rights Commission. Sylvia Calderon's term, current board member, commission member Sylvia Calderon's term's coming up. I'd like to reappoint her. She would like to be reappointed. One twist to this is there's a chance that midsummer she may resign for the board. And I talked to Executive Director Johnson about this. He's fine with that. They'd like to get her appointed, keep her on the board, and then if she does choose to resign midsummer, we'll tackle it at that time. But he requested that she be reappointed. I agree. I'd like to make a motion supporting Sylvia Calderon's reappointment to the Human Rights Commission.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any other
Okay.
questions about that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I hope there are no opposed. Okay. That passes. Next, we have some county property to declare surplus. See the resolution in your packet. And this is both some Sheriff's Department, an old Ford. Sheriff Stoffer, I assume this is probably an undercover car, drug car, something like that, that has been reached the end of its useful life. And then the rest of those items are related to the Lifesaver program that at EMA that we heard Kenny Garrett describe to us a couple meetings ago about winding down. And part of that winding down is distributing or getting rid of this surplus equipment. So any questions about that? I'll have the clerk read the resolution.
A resolution declaring certain county surplus, or county property to be surplus and providing for the disposition thereof. Whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court is the owner of certain personal property that is no longer of use to Henderson County. Whereas pursuant to KRS 670802, the Fiscal Court finds that it is in the best interest of the county to deem the property as surplus and provide for the disposition thereof. Whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court wishes to offer the said personal property to be sold by public auction in accordance with the law, transferred to another eligible agency, or disposed as scrap at the discretion of the Henderson County Judge Executive. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Fiscal Court, County of Henderson, Kentucky, as follows. Pursuant to KRS 67.0802, the personal property on the list attached hereto and incorporated herein is hereby declared to be surplus. It shall be sold at a duly advertised public or online auction pursuant to all applicable laws at such time and place and in such manner as shall be arranged by the County Judge Executive, transferred to another eligible agency, or disposed of as scrap. The County Judge Executive or his designee is hereby authorized to make said arrangements.
Get a motion to approve that.
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we have a first reading of the amendment of our battery energy storage system ordinance. And as you recall, we made a slight change in one of the paragraphs to assure, absolutely assure that any applicant would have to create, without fail, a technical opinion and report complying with all current and future applicable NFPA standards to evaluate fire and explosion risks associated with the indoor storage area and to make recommendations to fire and explosion protection, and also make sure that that is submitted to both state codes and the local volunteer fire department chief in whose district the project is scheduled. Just wanted to button that down, make sure in every case that happens. I can read this amendment entirely, or I can read the summary. It's up to you.
You know, I always vote the summer.
I think we all understand the.
I think we've been down this road a
And
couple of times
Planning
already.
Commission quickly recommended that they agreed with the change and are sending it back to us now for first reading. So if you don't mind, Madam Clerk, I'll go ahead and do it myself.
Not at all.
I'm going to read the summary. But before I do that, any other questions about what we did? Everybody, I think.
It's abundantly clear to
One-
me. It's abundantly clear to me.
Okay. It's an ordinance amending the Henderson County zoning ordinance found in the Henderson County Code of Ordinances in Appendix A thereof, which specifically amends Article 32, Battery Energy Storage Systems best of said ordinance. Get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve, please.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That's first reading. Next, I'm going to bring up Jailer Todd, and he's going to give us a little bit more details on something that he's been working on for more than a year here, and that's an expansion, potential expansion. And hopefully, many of you had a chance to look at the feasibility study that he provided us, prepared by RSA Advisors. And with that, Jailer Todd, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, Court.
Good morning.
Congratulations, Hattie. Smile there. Yeah, I guess you have before you the feasibility study. I had Ross and Claire do a study for us. And study came out favorable. I'm constantly turning down revenue here lately. I had a jail wanted to possibly house about 80 to 100 of their inmates for a while they I just found room. So constantly turning down revenue. So it's time to really get down to beginning the process of an expansion. So you have before you, and it's favorable. It shows that, you know, just 100 beds would be about $800 some $1,000 revenue. Just for 100 bed, and that's costing, it'd be 7.5 million.
That's the estimate in here.
That's the estimate in here. It could change.
Yeah.
This is just, today, I just want the blessing of continuing the process, because we're going to start beginning to incur some costs. So I don't want to incur some costs, and then we decide, hey, no, we're not going to go in that direction. So, you know, it should be 100 beds. You know, the revenue shows good. There's other designs we probably may have to put in another rec yard. We're in the process of looking at that. Indoor rec. So, you know, it could be 7.5, 8 million in that direction. So the next is to, you know, get the blessing. We'll get a design, have architect draw something up and start getting the actual cost of the project. And, you know, constantly I'll bring back.
So, how soon, I don't know if that's correct, Louise. How long will it take us to fill 100 beds?
Yeah, you know,
I know
pretty quick we can, I mean, we got 148 county inmates, 127 state, and 206 federal. I know we can get at least 57 more, I mean, federal inmates, but, you know, things happen, things change.
Right.
It's just, I mean, ever since I've been in here office, I've been, you know, turning down revenue.
That's why, the reason why I'm asking
Yeah.
is 100 beds enough.
Yeah, well,
It's cheaper to build, 200 beds than it is 100. If you see what I'm.
yeah,
if you see
it
where
costs
I'm going with
70,
this.
it costs $75,000 a bed.
75,000 a bed.
If you take it,
Regardless of the, of
if
the
I do
size.
200, it'd be $75,000 a bed. I mean,
However,
but
in the bidding out of this project, it may be less expensive than RSA estimated.
you're right.
Right.
Maybe more, but I think it could be less. I mean, that's just their quick and
This is,
take.
And I think it's important to also consider staffing Well,
that's-
it
Yeah,
may be,
staffing.
it may be, yeah, it's a
Room,
good idea for 200,
we're,
but staffing.
we're
we
running out
can't-
of room to.
Yeah, we can't grow too fast, you know?
I mean, we looked at adding some beds at the end of each hall, you know, but
Yeah.
we're just
Yeah,
out
I'm not-
of room. We're,
This is
That's,
definitely a good idea.
that's, I'm not looking at not
yeah,
expanding.
yeah,
I'm looking
I'm
at-
good. We need to answer, we need to look at everything, yeah.
Right, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that,
I pondered on it, I hate that. I mean, I've been, but,
So I think the steps to take here is to go ahead and give a jailer okay to
Yeah.
start spending money on drawings, things like that. And then when we get to the point where we actually bid out the construction,
yeah,
that's when we really need to decide how we're going to pay for it. If we're going to pay for it, how we're going to pay for it.
Right.
I think that's a future decision at this point.
Absolutely.
But I think Bruce is here asking for permission to keep going forward.
I'll make a motion to go out for the drawings.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
all right, thank y'all.
thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Jeff. Keep up the good work.
You have in your packet the coroner's report and Sheila Patterson. Any other extra information you'd like to provide?
Good morning.
Good morning.
If you'll notice on your monthly stat report, I changed my number from 194 to 190 since I'm now the coroner. I didn't think about that at the point of when I was appointed. So I will be now known as 190. We did have one increase in our cremation numbers because we will get cremation paperwork in after the end of the month where it's in process between the funeral home and us. So that's why the numbers have changed on that report. We are a little bit behind our statistics for this time last year, but that's always subject to change.
Well, the coroner's office isn't something I'd like to see trending up,
I totally agree. We had a busy week last week, so we did increase it a little bit. But does anyone have any questions for me?
No, ma'am. Thank you for what you do.
You're very welcome.
Anything you need, Sheila? Everything going on? Any?
Brent was instrumental in helping us to find and order a new backup battery for our power cot, which makes life a lot easier. And so we got that yesterday.
Good.
Otherwise, I think we're good for right now. Our
I was about
cooler
to
is
say,
working.
Good.
that's the main thing right there.
Yes, yes.
As far as staffing, you're still in the process of looking, or are you
I
close
have
to?
have all my positions staffed. I got one out on sick leave currently, but we're covering that.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, you have in your packet also the sheriff's monthly reports. This is the normal report. Sheriff Stoffer, anything to add? No. Get a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Kyle Evans, pinch hitting for the esteemed Steve Gold. Any other comments on your report?
No, Judge, I have 3 checks here today, one in the amount of $74.49 in interest, one for $5,317.20 for reimbursement from our child support grant, and $1,931.32 in jail fees collected, which I do believe is the highest month I've seen since I've been passing this over. I'm going to hand this over to Ms. Bewley here. It's $7,323.01. I'm going to let you hand it to the judge for me.
Thanks. And as Mr. Gold always likes to joke, actually, it's not a joke. We're certain Hattie probably has never held $7,300 in your own hands, have you? But it's just like the real world. The government gives it to you, and you give it right back to the government. So that's a life lesson, on adulting right there. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Make a motion to accept the county attorney's payments.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Treasurer Ryder.
This is the first reading of Budget Amendment Number 5 for the current fiscal year. The total amount of this amendment is $301,500. amending into the budget prior year surplus funds to the jail fund of $216,000 with corresponding expenditures of the jail fund for other liabilities appropriation. This is necessary for the compensation of jail employees determined by the Department of Workforce Standards investigation for the period of 2020 through 2023. Amending into the budget LGEA, Local Government Economic Assistance Funds of $60,500 with corresponding expenditures of the LGEA fund for contingency appropriation. This is reimbursed revenue from the city for their monthly Humane Society appropriation, which is forwarded by the county. Amending into the budget federal grants revenue of $25,000 with corresponding expenditures for contingency appropriation. This is for an awarded PREA, Prisoner Rape Elimination Act grant, and this will be a future transfer to the jail fund. The total of this budget amendment, $301,500.
Any questions about the amendment? Need a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
You've received a copy of the transfers, and these are as presented, and this is redistributing appropriations within the existing budget.
Any other questions about any of these transfers? One to point out is the Humane Society transfer. We're moving that money just to make sure that even as we take in the city contributions, that we have enough to cover bills while we take those in. So it's not a exceeding of the budget. It's just making sure we cover. Yeah.
Yes.
Make a motion to accept transfers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
I do have claims from the road fund to Valor LLC, $8,982.10. This is for fuel and is to come from the fuel appropriation line. From the jail fund to Advanced Document Solutions, $845.49. This is for copier agreement and is to come from the data processing equipment appropriation line. To U.S. Bank, which is the credit card, $1,007.30. The majority of this is to come from office supplies and equipment repairs and maintenance appropriation lines.
Move to pay the claims.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions on those? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we go to the county, do want to welcome a guest. Brian Kennedy is the new communications officer at the Green River Area Development District, and he is joining us today just to visit Henderson and see how we do things here. And if you wouldn't mind, Brian, come up to the mic. And I know this wasn't on your bingo card necessarily, but we'd like to come up and introduce yourself. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. Like Judge said, my name is Brian Kennedy. I'm the new communications director with GRAD. Smith, I'm originally from Owensboro, born and raised, so I'm very familiar with this area. Last time I was here, though, I was on the football field. So this
We won't hold that against you.
Yeah, right. Well, Will Fiddler was still the ball all over the yard, so it didn't matter. We didn't have a chance. But excited to be back. I spent the last 10 years in TV and sports reporting and anchoring. Moved back to the area and excited to be here. And hoping to help all the counties however they need. A lot of it is kind of getting out, seeing how you all work and how it can help.
Yeah. I think, of course, I'm biased, but the GRAD region really has a lot of great things going on. There's great stories to tell among the 7 counties. And GRAD is part of our partnership in telling those stories. And Brian has a great background and skill set in helping us do that. And I hope you stay with us for a long time. I mean, I think it's going to be fun. The future holds a lot of potential as well, not just what's already happening.
Good to see local talent come home.
Absolutely. Happy to be home.
Yes, sir.
You're always welcome here. Thank you. Anybody else like to speak for good of the county? County Engineer Nick Stallings looking a little anxious to come up. We can't have a meeting without Nick Stallings talking to us a little bit.
It's all good,
The
right?
floor is yours.
No, it's short, but our Greenville Road project had a little setback. I know y'all are excited to come out to have to do a ribbon cutting, but hold the scissors back a little bit. So when the waters came up and receded, it dropped a lot of silt and river wash, and then we have, trees and that kind of thing, driftwood. So all of our prepared subgrade that we finished in December, let it sit for the winter, is now, under 4 or 5 inches of silt. So we'll have a little bit of time, let that all dry out, because silt takes a long time to dry out. Once it dries out, we're going to cut everything back to what we can, and then build it back up. So we got a little bit of setback there. All of the good news is all the rivers are down, all the roads are open. Somewhat, we're out. I actually had an assessment with FEMA on Friday, went through the damage, got all that categorized, and so we've been now out just fixing. We got some roads with the major washouts. We've got some that's got a lot of mud on it. A lot of the river roads got a lot of mud on it. It's still drivable, but not with the normal vehicle. So we're going cutting all that material back and putting in rock and things. So if you get any kind of residents, ask about what's going on, why the road's muddy and that kind of thing. Obviously, it just takes time, and we got 2 graders and we've got 8 trucks, and it just takes a while. That's all I got.
Technically, we're still under a emergency declaration, which we instituted right as the water was still high but beginning to recede. And we did that to make sure that we were in the boundaries of being able to perhaps apply to FEMA for help fixing the roads impacted by the floods.
Yes.
So those waters have receded. I may check later today, Nick, with Kenny about rescinding, ending the state of emergency. We don't foresee the rivers rising again anytime soon. But I think we're safe in the window of time the state of emergency was in effect to cover any of these road problems.
Yeah, we got all of our roads assessed with FEMA, so we got the clear light to go ahead and start cleaning up and getting them open. We're hoping to have them done in 2 or 3 weeks for, I guess, farmer season.
Yeah.
Got all those big farmers come out there, push everything out of the way and start farming, right? Right, Tim? So
While you're up here,
Trying to get ready.
while you're up here, a couple pats on the back. We just ended finally last Friday our storm debris delivery sites, and I think it was very well received in the community, very much needed. Got a lot of compliments on the staff at the sites, helping people unload. I took some loads out there myself, so I got firsthand look at how they were going about their business, and they just made it very easy for people. And please send our compliments to all the gang that helped. And it's just good to know we have a method now when this happens again, and we can quickly put into place the things that will help our community, especially the site at the fairgrounds was heavily used of all the sites. I think that's correct.
Yes.
And they were just very good about helping people out, getting the line moving. And
yeah, we were somewhere around a couple thousand loads for dropping off everything from a back of a pickup truck to a 16-foot trailer. So they had a lot there. Then we shipped it out to the park. Yeah. We will keep the park open until during normal work hours. So from 7 to 3:30, we'll keep the park open until the rest of March, until our guys starts mowing. Right now the one that's tending the area is the one that does all the bush hogging, 4-star and those kind of places in the park. And while the grass hasn't popped up yet, he's going to continue to go out there and manage that area. So he's had a few loads here and there. I think Monday he had about 10. So we're going to go ahead, and I was just going to make it through this week, but we're going to go ahead and keep it through the end of March, just for the just for the later people that couldn't get things picked up.
But
we'll give an avenue.
But we're not devoting more people to it. It's just kind of the folks that were going to be there anyway.
Yep. Yes. This is just the guy who's been out there while it's been going. he's just going to continue sitting out there and taking loads until he starts mowing. So I would say at the end of March, everything will be shut down. There's no more fairgrounds. There's no more Roberts. There is just strictly, he's out there at the park, opens up the gate, let people come in during the day, for late stragglers, getting all the limbs picked up, and then he closes at the end of the day, and then we'll close until the next day. No weekend work and no overtime. He's just out there during the day, let people come in, but into March, for sure, we'll shut down.
Gotcha.
Because we've had a lot of calls saying, "Hey, are you still open? Hey, are you still open?" And then that kind of gave me the indication that people still need it. So we were going to go through this week, but he said he's had so much the last couple of days, we're going to extend them, at least to the end of March. Unless it just dries up completely, then obviously everybody's done.
The final thing I wanted to say is thank you very much for working seemingly tirelessly with Magistrate Tompkins to make sure the construction zones around the solar farm developments are safe and accommodating for local traffic. And I know you two have worked extra hard on that, sometimes with some headwinds, but you've really worked hard on making sure that county residents have the best opportunity to use our infrastructure as possible in the safest way. So thank you very, very much.
Yes, and we're currently had all our meetings with the road repairs. With the further south solar panel farm, they're getting their construction done, just doing all their troubleshooting now, and working their way out. So, me and Taylor's met with them. I kind of gave them the punch list. This is what needs to be repaired. They're in the workings of getting bids and that kind of thing. So everybody in the area should be, once paving season opens, usually around the first, second week of April, they can look for all those roads getting completed. I know a lot of them took some major beating, and we are aware of that. And those are some of the punch list items that I did give the construction, give the actual construction crew of the solar panel farms, idea of what's going on. So now they're getting all their ideals, getting all their construction contractors together so it can be fixed.
Excellent.
Yep. And on top of that too, Nick he scheduled it. He was smart enough to schedule the ditching crews to be out there along that same time. So once the roads get fixed the way they're supposed to, our county ditching crews will go out there and repair the ditches back to what they were, so water flow does not take out our newly paved roads. So that was great thinking on his part as usual. And like you said, he's done a great job and taught me a lot throughout this process. So I appreciate it, Nick.
Yeah, so that's just saying that if people in the Roberts area see these people start pulling their work trailers out and moving out, don't think we let them leave without repairing the roads. I mean, they're good with it. They understand. They've been working well with us. So as long as they don't think that we get bashed out there saying, "Can't let these people leave with the crap." So we've definitely had our initial meetings, and they've got. So we have our cord, I guess, what you would say, maybe. We got it all online, so thank you. Good to go.
Appreciate it. Anybody else like to speak for good of the county? With that, we have a shorter number of magistrates who'd like to speak, but we'll start off with Magistrate Starks.
Thank you, Judge, and great to see everybody here. And certainly want to say I'm so excited to be the fill-in magistrate. I'm going to sit in for Keith Berry to take our Judge's Scholar out to lunch today, and understand we're going to go to Homer's. Does that sound good? And I told her she could have as many desserts as her heart desires. But congratulations. And if you look across just behind Magistrate Tompkins there on the wall is a picture of a gentleman by the name of Bewley, who served this county as a magistrate and later as a county judge. And so that name, I would love to see that name back on one of these plaques sometime in the future, maybe. And maybe this gives you a little idea of what, the future might hold. But congratulations. I don't know how many students there are at Spotsville, but there's a lot. And out of all those students, you today are the one that gets to represent that school. So, what is it, the Panthers? You're making Spotsville Panther proud today, and so enjoy your day, and look forward to a great lunch, and we'll get together right after court. I just wanted to say, again, Judge, right on the nail on the head with the work that's been done by the county road department and all their crews during this cleanup. And I'm sure there are a few people like me that kind of wait till the weather really warms up before they start to clean out their backyards. Might be the first time to get back there with it, being so muddy and snowy all this winter. So appreciate the extension of the time to take those limbs out. But I've had nothing but good comments on, like you say, on the not just the skill and the servitude out there, but the attitude while they were in the process. It could have been very easy for them. Why do I have to do this? This is more work, than I'm used to. And those limbs are not light by any means. 16-foot trailers. Those are some big limbs. So really appreciate everything that's gone on with that cleanup. Just to go along with that, I think we've just completed Severe Weather Awareness Week by the Weather Service, but we need to be storm ready all the time, and especially this time of year. It looks like we might have a pretty interesting system coming in later this week, so just a heads up. Be ready for that and take precautions. There's a lot of good information on our website, I think on the EMA website, to be prepared for this coming spring storm season. And I believe we also have some cleanups in addition to all that we've been doing already, but the community cleanups are getting ready to get started, so take advantage of those as well. And that's another great service of our county road department. And then I just also want to put in a quick plug for my friends at the Holy Name Men's Club. They've started their Lenten season fish fries, so if you enjoy a great catfish dinner, I don't think you could find any finer than just down the street here at our good friends at Holy Name. And Kyle, it's good to have you back. Appreciate all that the county attorney's office does for us. And we miss our fellow magistrates and hope everything's going okay with them. So with that, I'll yield the floor. Everything's good in the 5th.
Thank you. Kyle, any word from the county attorney's office?
Not a whole lot, Judge. I will say, to follow up, Manager Stars there, congratulations, Hattie. I know your family's proud of you. Not many people get a day named after themselves, so celebrate. Take him up on all those desserts as well, okay? Steve is actually out teaching at the Kentucky Prosecutor Institute. He's sorry he couldn't be here today. He's teaching a bunch of new attorneys how to handle criminal cases and trials and trying to educate some of our new attorneys. So he is out today, and that's why I'm here. I appreciate y'all having me. All's well in the county attorney's office, Judge.
Actually, it's always good to have your smiling face because, Steve gets so dour at times. And it's good to shake it up a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. Good ray of sunshine every once in a while. Master Tompkins.
Thank you, Judge. I was going to give a quick update. I spoke with Butch, and his daughter was in a serious head-on accident, and he said things were critical but improving still. So she's in the critical care unit, but unfortunately, Ashley's pretty much having to be put back together. It's been a rough road. She's got a long road ahead of her, so continued prayers for Butch and his family, but just talked to him. He asked that I give that update. So on to brighter things. Miss Bewley. Boy, the stories I could tell you about your daddy, honey. He's been a friend of mine since we were your age. You have a wonderful family, so I'm not surprised to see you sitting there, but that doesn't mean you didn't do that work on your own, okay? So you be proud of yourself for what you did today, and you clearly understand that being a leader means doing the right thing all the time, not just when it's easy or convenient, okay? Keep doing what you're doing. We're proud of you. Get something nice from your dad for this deal, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I promise you, we weren't as good as you are, so we're proud of you. I know your mom and dad are proud of you, so I hope you have a great day.
Brothers listening.
Absolutely. Hey, Jesse, it's okay. I'll be in our club.
Master Southern.
Well, congratulations again. It's a big deal to get picked from your whole school. They picked you. That says a lot. So I'm sure Mom and Dad's really proud, and keep up the good work. And it seems like every time I drive down the road, I'm finding more limbs on the road. It's the ice storm just keeps on giving. So, the road department, again, I can call them and they're there. So it means a lot that, they care enough. Like, I had one last night that fell and I couldn't get it. I tried. I couldn't get it out of the road, and I called them and they right on it. So, appreciate it very much. And the river came up, went down, didn't do a whole lot of damage in our area to the county roads, but Highway 136 is a disaster. And talked with Senator Mills. He got with Demetra, and she said that they should start on it this week to get it hopefully passable before crop time, and then work on it the rest of the summer trying to get it back to good, because it's terrible right now. So be patient. There's another way around. So with that, all's good in the third, and that's all.
Thank you. I'll join the chorus in congratulating Hattie, and hope you had a good time. Steve often says that, not everything we do is exciting, but it's all important. And today was a good kind of mix of things that we have to deal with, be very interesting and all over the map. And sometimes if you're watching in from home or sitting back here, it can be, like watching paint dry, but you got to get through it all. And it all relates to people and helping our citizens in some way or another. So you did very well. I heard no moaning and groaning back here at all. And obviously, great young lady, great family. So congratulations and enjoy lunch. I do want to, echo what Master Tompkins said about the Putman family. Please keep them in your prayers. He's in Iowa now, attending to his daughter who suffered a tremendous number of injuries in a car accident that was not her fault. And she's mother of children and wife, and really concerned about them. And not sure when Bush will be able to join us again, but we'll hold down the fort till he gets back. I wanted to mention among the cleanups that we have coming up, one is this weekend. It's the river sweep, and many of you have seen this before. Anybody wants to come down to the Audubon Mill Park on Saturday morning and help pick up the ramp and stretches of the riverbank on either side, always welcome that. The slight twist this year is that Orsanco, which is a federal agency which helps oversee the cleanliness of the Ohio River, is joining in with the volunteers this year to help draw even more importance to keeping rivers clean as possible and helping provide some more swag for volunteers who want to help. So that starts at 8 a.m., will last till noon, and encourage everybody to just come on down and volunteer, help out. Eric Higgs, our solid waste coordinator, has done a great job of working with Orsanco to make this as big a deal as anything. And not that picking up trash beside the river is sexy, but it's helpful, and it draws attention to the fact that the Ohio River is a resource that really it's the reason our community's here. It's some of the keys to our prosperity, and we can't take it for granted. No community on the river can. So sometimes it's our worst enemy, but most of the times it's one of our best friends. And being conscious of that as we help keep it tidy is important. That is all I have. Unless anybody else has anything for the good of the order, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor can leave.